Welcome to
Ooh, Lordy, trouble so hard. Ooh, Lordy, trouble so hard. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Ooh, Lordy, trouble so hard. Ooh, Lordy, trouble so hard. Don't nobody know my trouble but God. Don't nobody know my trouble but God.
Hello. Welcome to today's Q&A. Today I'm going to be answering some of the questions that we get hit up with every week, whether it's from our clients, people on social media from Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or our amazing fans and followers in the tribe. Excuse Marley out there, she wants to come in. And it's so hard to always keep on top of responding to all those questions, but we do our best. We want to support you as best we can with your nutrition, with your healthy habits, and just help you cultivate a lifestyle that is sustainable and really helps you live your life to your full potential. So I thought this Q&A would be a great way to keep on top of those questions, and we're gonna get right to it. I got a lot of response on Facebook, so I'm gonna jump on there and see what kind of questions we've got. So this is from Leah Hudson, and she would like to know about maternity macros. Cool, Leah. So that's a good question and something that we definitely deal with quite a lot. You'll probably find if you post that question out there in the Facebook tribe, we've got some of our followers in there who could definitely recommend what they did during their pregnancy and can definitely help you out with any questions that you might have if you're already flexible eating. If you are not already doing flexible eating, you can definitely still do flexible eating whilst you're pregnant. What we would just suggest is have you check with your doctor first, make sure everything's a-okay. But in terms of additional macros that you need whilst you're pregnant, you'll need somewhere, or an average woman would need somewhere between 300 to 500 additional calories a day. Now this is really only in the second and third trimester. So the first trimester, you're not gonna really be needing any additional calories. Sorry to burst your bubble. I know. I want an excuse to eat extra donuts all the time too. But the second trimester, you are going to be able to have an additional 300 calories, so that's, about average. And then during your third trimester, you'll need on average about 500 additional calories. Now, in terms of your macros, you're just going to distribute that proportionately throughout your protein, carbohydrates, and your fats. So in terms of weight gain during your pregnancy, you're looking for somewhere between 25 to 35 pounds weight gain, and that's considered healthy for most average women. It really does depend what your body type is like already, whether you're a little bit underweight, maybe you're already a little overweight, so that will affect that number, but somewhere in the region of between 25 to 35 pounds is considered healthy weight gain during your pregnancy. Good question. Thanks for putting that out there, Leah. And let's have another look. What else do we have? All right, we have Colony Hopkins. How many days a week would you suggest working out with tracking in order to lose weight? Cool. Okay, so good question there, Colony, as well. And if you have been following our program already, or you bought one of our videos, the beginner video, you'll have been given that information about how you go about calculating your macros. And you'll find that the activity level is included in that macro calculation. So in terms of additional training that you need to do in order to lose weight whilst you're tracking, that's not something that we necessarily prescribe. We actually have worked with lots of clients who really don't have time to do formal training, you know, actually getting themselves to the gym all the time. For example, we have one of Jason's good friends, actually. He's a stay-at-home dad, and so he is running around after his 2 crazy kids day in and day out. He really does not have a moment to spare to go and hit the gym for an hour every day. He does what little activity he can, goes out for walks, maybe the odd jog here and there, but there's no real regimen to his exercise routine. And that's the beauty of our program. You pick the activity level that best describes your activity level, and that is taken into account for your given macros. So in terms of additional exercise, there's no real right or wrong prescription for what your macros are and for you, or let's say increasing or accelerating your weight loss. But in terms of general health and fitness, we definitely recommend exercising at least 3 times a week. So if you have difficulty trying to get to the gym, we actually just came out with my body weight training program. Hey, there you go. But it's a great form of exercise that you can do anywhere and with 0 equipment, super quick workouts as well. So honestly, I just love body weight training. I did a ton of it when I was traveling because I often couldn't get to a gym. I mean, I was in Bali at one point. They do have gyms there. They're actually pretty into that old school pumping iron style gyms. But I just wanted to hit something quick so that I could go out and do my exploring and you know, go out and do my foodie thing. So I love body weight workouts. 20 minutes, that's all you need. Some killer Tabata and you're golden. Like, intensity is key. But great question. Thanks for asking, Connie. And hope that answers your question. Let's see. We'll take a couple more. So we've got Molly Pearson. And Molly wants to know about weight plateaus. So let's just have a little look. Sorry, Molly, I lost your question. What do you suggest when we have a bit of a plateau with regards to weight loss? Change something, stay the course and be patient? Really good question. This is something we get asked all the time, and it's one of those things that is super frustrating for people. And I think really when we talk about plateaus, we're usually talking about the number on the scale. So I think that's a good place to start and a good concept to identify, is that you're probably talking about the number on the scale. And when we think about the scale, I really like to encourage people to open their mind beyond that and think about other areas in which they can measure their progress. So you may be plateaued on the scale, but let's take a look at your progress pictures. Have you been taking them steadily along the way? You know, I've gotten a little bit out of the habit recently, but there was a time when I was taking them pretty much every week. And I kid you not, I was amazed by this. I mean, it was subtle, but I really could see a subtle change happening week on, you know, every single week. It was incredible to see this transformation literally happening before my eyes. But had I not taken those pictures, would I have recognized that that was still happening? Probably not. And would I have gotten frustrated with the scale? Yes, probably. You know, right now I'm in that place. My weight has been the same for, gosh, I don't even know how long, a couple of months. Do I consider that a plateau? No, because I've been reverse dieting for one. I've had my numbers similar for the last few weeks or month or so. But I definitely notice I'm still making progress in the gym. My body is still changing. I see it in the mirror I need to get back on top of taking those progress photos, but I can tell that my body is changing based on my performance in the gym. And those are the kind of measures that I like to measure my progress by. So think about ways in which you want to measure your progress. If you go to the gym, maybe a CrossFit box, then that can be really simple by doing things like some benchmark workouts, or even just doing some benchmark strength-based work, some 1 rep max activity. And then also obviously taking measurements around your body, so around your arms, your waist, your hips, your thighs. I would highly recommend doing that as well. So that kind of, I think, partially answers your question. And then if you believe that you're still plateaued when you've gone ahead and done all of those measurements, I would probably ask myself, okay, am I being consistent? And really, in order to know whether or not you're being consistent, you need to look at your diary. You need to look at MyFitnessPal, check through your numbers. Have you been plus or minus within 5 for the last 30 days? Actually count the number of times that you were either hitting 000 or you were plus or minus 5 of your numbers, and see how consistent were you. You can actually use that data. Was it 80% of the time? Was it 50% of the time? That's going to be a real key indicator if as to whether or not that could be a reason that you're plateaued. Excuse me, my throat's getting dry. Jay, I don't know how you talk hours on end at your seminars and to me. It's no wonder you were having that scratchy throat the other week. Hey Mo, what's up? And so consistency, definitely key. And then let's see what else. I mean, there are other things that you'll want to consider as well. For me, stress is a big factor. Hey, sit. If I'm stressed out, I definitely start to hold onto weight, and this number on the scale just goes crazy. It's really quite amazing, and I know when that's happening. Also, if I'm not getting enough sleep, or just having, I have a regular sleep schedule. So think about other things that are going on in your life. Is there anything that's changed that you're doing differently? Are you suddenly exercising less? Or ultimately, if you have been consistent, everything's staying the same, you're not noticing any progress at the gym, hey, it could be a really great opportunity to start eating more. Yeah, you have me right. Reverse dieting, the best thing ever. I cannot tell you how happy I am to have additional calories. It is crazy how much better it makes you feel. I honestly never knew what it was like before. I mean, I just have so much more energy. I truly do. I used to be exhausted all the time. I also used to be pretty cranky because, hey, I was not eating enough carbs. And now I sit there, I have dinner, I get to look at Jay's meal, and mine's not a measly size in comparison to his anymore. I get to have 2 or even 3 donuts if I want in one day instead of only having 1 or half a donut. Yeah, just having extra fat and extra carbs available is awesome. So could be a really good opportunity for you, Molly, to start experimenting with reverse dieting. So check out, we actually have a product for that on the store. I think it's called I Just Want to Eat More bundle. Very appropriately called. Let me figure that out for you. Yeah. Enjoy those extra donuts or cookies or ice cream, whatever it is. Let me see, where is it at? I'm ready to eat more, that's what it's called. All right, let's see. We've probably got time for one more question. Let me go back to Facebook. Okay, cool. I like this question from Vanessa Holst. Vanessa, are you really asking this for a friend, or is this for you? I don't know when somebody puts asking for a friend now, I feel like that means you're really asking for yourself. Anyway, so Vanessa would like to know for her friend, would you increase your carbs the day before a long run, 10 to 12 miler? Okay, so training for a half marathon probably there. So this is a really good question, because when I was doing a ton of running and training for half marathons, and I even ran a marathon too, I seriously wish I had been on board with this idea back then, because I can tell you now, I definitely would have given myself more for those long duration training runs, for the marathon training that I did. For sure, 100%. Would I do that necessarily for the half marathon training? I think, I would experiment. Why not? See how your body responds. I think it can only do you good to have some more fuel on those long day training runs that you've got. So what I would recommend doing is just adding a little bit more. Don't go too crazy, but 10, 15, maybe 20 extra carbs just on those days. Give it a go and see how your body responds. I think, the reason we typically say keep your macros consistent throughout the week is because, like I mentioned earlier, that activity level has been taken, or your activity has been taken into account in the macro calculation with your activity level. So if you're then kind of adding additional or making additional adjustments here and there, you're kind of screwing with that formula. But I do think when it comes to things like long duration endurance training, you are going to benefit from some additional calories, and you probably do really need it. So I would advise just experimenting. That's what I would do. I would start with, depending on how long the run is, something like 10, 15, maybe 20 extra grams of carbs. See how you feel. I think definitely on the race day itself, you're going to want to make sure you're really well fueled. And I think, whenever you're doing a race or something competitive, it's super important to make those, or to do those experiments and that testing beforehand. You don't want to be doing anything different on race day itself. So make sure you go and just test your body. I promise you, you're not going to get fat overnight from giving yourself a little extra fuel, especially when you're running something like 10, 11 miles. Your body's going to need it. It's going to thank you for it. It's going to recover better, and you're going to be able to train harder the following week. So I say do it. Let me know how this works out for you or your friend, whoever it is that needed that piece of advice. Cool. So I think that covers it for today. Please let me know if you have any more questions. Hit me up on Facebook or on Instagram, either on the fan page or in the tribe on Facebook, and then of course on our Instagram, the @Own Your Eating. Otherwise, you know where to find me.